Lean forward slightly. Look straight at the speaker. And listen with a sparkle in your eye, as though you might be thinking, gee, this is the most wonderful thing I ever heard in all my life.
They said it couldn't be done, but we are back with the second episode of the Huntington Wiffle League podcast. I'm your host, Josh Smith, with my co-host,
Greg Soward.
And we have two special guests for this podcast. They're from Team Bag Tag, the 2013 Huntington Wiffle League fall ball champions who went 8-3 and had a decisive victory over the second place team, the Wiffle Ballers, in the Battle Royale. Okay, before we talk about anything else, here are some important dates to remember. February 4th, 2014. We will be having our winter meeting. At least one person from every team needs to be in attendance to represent their team in debating over rule changes, as well as being a representative for their team as they draw randomly to find out which team will be in which division. April 1st, 2014. Season kicks off on Tuesdays, just as it always has. Same team requirements as always. Everybody needs to be 18 years or older. Women are allowed to play and need to have jerseys. Now, we do have something going on that we didn't have last year, which is an early bird discount special for the registration fee. If you pay by March 1st, 2014, it's only $30 per player. After that, it's $40. Now, we will have 2 weeks of spring training the last 2 weeks of March, as we did last year, but to where you can sort of play before you pay, see if you like it, but it's still $40 because it's after March 1st. So those are very important dates that you need to know. We'll also be setting up a PayPal account for the league. That way you don't have to show and pay cash at the winter meeting or some other prearranged time. But paying in cash is still acceptable at the winter meeting. We'll have more details on that later. So, Greg, let's get back to business at hand. We need to discuss fall ball. Success or no?
Very successful. 6 teams there that were new. One team that was a combination of 2 teams from our regular season. I thought everybody was in good spirits. We had a good time. A lot got accomplished. Hoping the best for next year.
Okay, well, I'll tell you my favorite thing that happened in fall ball season if you tell me yours. I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
My favorite thing, the spirit of competition. I mean, we've never had this many teams finish above 500 for one. There were 3 different teams that finished above 500.
Okay, my favorite thing is the return of the Honey Badgers. We haven't seen them since 2012 when we first started the league. They came back. It looked like they were going to be sort of hobbling along, maybe getting a few wins here or there. They're tenacious as ever. But then they brought a new guy, Paul Hessen, and just breathed new life into the team as a whole. Everybody just started playing better. And then when we thought they couldn't get any better, and they were already on a 4-game winning streak, because they played 3 games in week 5. They brought a new guy, Kyle Kelly, which is a friend of Paul's, I'm assuming, who was absolutely electric. And they finished the season in second place on a 7-game winning streak, which was the longest winning streak of any team during fall ball. And it's up in the air if they're going to be returning for the 2014 season, but they would be crazy not to. I think they have everything it takes to possibly win the title next year. I really honestly believe that.
I agree with you. I think there's a couple holes in their team that need to be looked at. Whether the attendance of these new guys that they added is going to be there for next year. Who knows?
Okay.
Can't wait to see.
And they still have one extra spot left in their roster that they can fill. If they pick another good player, they're going to get even better.
I think I'm going red, Josh, next year.
You're going to play for them next year?
I'm going to play for the Honey Badgers.
It definitely wouldn't hurt them any. They beat everybody, at least one time, I think. So,
except for us.
Except for us, yep. We beat them the one time we played them. But It wasn't much of a victory. Okay. Speaking of teams that are good, here are my power rankings for next year. Now, this is assuming that all 7 teams that participated in the Fall Ball League return, along with three of the remaining franchises from the 2013 regular season. That would be Holy Balls, Pink Penguins, and the Maroon Squad. Here we go. Number 1, I have Bag Tag.
I agree with you there.
Okay. Number 2, Honey Badgers.
I think it's a little bit high on the board this early in the game, but
Who would you pick for number 2?
I would pick Maroon Squad. They were very solid last year. They trailed off at the end of the year, but I think it was a lack of competition that kind of gave them overconfidence that hurt them in the end of the year.
Okay. Number 3, I have Maroon Squad. Is that where you put Honey Badgers, perhaps?
I believe Honey Badgers in the 3-hole would be sufficient.
Okay. Number 4, Wiffle Ballers.
If they can get their entire team there, I agree.
Okay. That's something that they definitely need to look at. Aaron Frad was missing in Week 5, and it was absolutely devastational to their defense. But if he plays every week and they get another player or two to fill out their roster, they're going to be forced to reckon with. Number 5, I have Pink Penguins.
I think it's a little bit high. They played great last year. Thelmer, of course, Cy Wiffle, great hitting team, but they don't have much depth at pitching. They started to toy around with things at the end of the year, but I just don't know if they're going to come back and really have the edge on some of these new teams that are coming into the league.
How dare you? Okay. Pink Penguins were my favorite team to watch last year. I think that's why I picked them to go so high. And I think Thelmer is a good enough pitcher, and Ryan Miller was improving throughout the season. I think that if he can reach Thelmer's level and have that 1-2 knockout punch pitching-wise, offensively, they stand to gain more. I know that. In playoffs, I think they underperformed. They offensively, they weren't the team that they normally are. So, and you had people like Paulie that were improving and, jacking home runs and getting on base regularly. I think that, maybe if there's people not returning, they get a few, extra players that could maybe boost the team up a little bit. I think they could be a really good team. Number 6, I have Holy Balls.
I feel it really depends on how many players come back from last year. They had a pretty solid core team there. But two of these guys not making it to games could have cost them quite a few games last year.
Yeah. You have Tim Dillon and Todd Ritter, solid ball players, great pitchers, especially Tim. Really carried the torch for the team when Kevin Lawrence wasn't there. But, the two best players in the team offensively, easily, Brent Thompson, Kevin Lawrence. Todd Ritter is also he had one of the best batting averages in the league. Larry Blake, just for sheer atmosphere, one of my favorite players to watch. He was
favorite
awesome.
to pitch against.
Yeah, favorite to pitch against. He was awesome. So if they are still even a shadow of the team they were last year, they will be a very good team to watch. Number 7, I have the Green Bears. Is that a little high for us?
Depends on which Green Bears team shows up. If it's the team that couldn't hit anything last fall, then we're probably looking at being in the dugout most of the season. But we had some promising moments last fall, and both teams had some promising moments in the regular season. It just depends on what parts of our team come back and how they decide to perform.
It just feels good to be on the same team again with you. But, we have Julie Meadows. She's been coming along for a long time now. She's a pretty solid ball player now. We got Daryl. Like it or not, he's sort of a leader on the team.
He won a couple games for us this past fall.
He came through again and again.
He won a couple games last season at the beginning of the year, I remember. 2 or 3 home runs early in the season. So.
Yeah, he was on fire for a little while there. And then we have Mike Saxton. Needing to work with him a little more, but with his hand-eye coordination, there's nothing he can't do with a little practice. And then Andrew, he just sort of dropped off the radar. I have no idea what happened to him, so he didn't play. And then we had a guy, Mike McCoy, a walk-on, absolutely phenomenal player. But he's going to be going out and starting his own team, so we have a roster spot or two opening for the spring season. So anyone that's interested, you know the right thing to do. You need to get into contact with us. Number 8, Master Batters. What do you think?
Pretty fair spot. Their pitching was coming along at the end of the year. Jeff Kim, amazing all year. The only problem is if he's going 2 games a day, is he going to get worn out after 12 weeks of ball? I mean,
I think they're an underrated team, even by me, if that's even fair to say. Russell Adono, it was sort of like their second pitcher. He missed at least 2 weeks of the season, I believe. And I think he is almost every bit as good of a pitcher as Jeff is. But we didn't really get to see that as much because, obviously if your best pitcher's there, you're going to pitch him. But I think if they had their full team there, they would definitely do better. But they still, I think, have a couple extra roster spots available. If they fill those to where if people miss, they can still work with it. That's a team that's going to have some fight in them. Number 9, Pitch Slappers.
Their pitching came very far away. They were basically lobbing the ball at the beginning of the season straight in there. Their hitting is phenomenal.
I've received information that Patrick Rail and Jacob Dunkel, they're sort of the captain and co-captain of the Pitch Slappers. They have already been practicing pitching and been building their own strike zone. So they will definitely not be the same team, I would say, going to the spring season that they were in the fall season. So I think they're going to be a team that's going to be a breakout team. I know I have them ranked here kind of low, but that's to give them some inspiration to really show us what they got. Number 10, unfortunately, I have Go Jackie Go. Thoughts?
They had a little bit of trouble getting everybody to the field every week. I don't think we ever saw them at full roster strength.
Well, they never had more than 4 people there at the same time.
I don't, it's hard to say. Their pitching needs to come a long way. That would probably their biggest issue. A lot of just kind of lobbing it in there for some of our home run hitters to make magic with. Yeah. But
They were a fun team to watch.
They were.
You could see them through the games, even in Week 5. They were figuring things out and really using it to their advantage. So, I mean, they're a team that's learning a little bit of practice in the offseason or maybe some more stable supporting players to round out the 5th and 6th spot on the roster. And we're talking about a team that could probably also break out. So those are my power rankings, and those are all subjective, so take them what they're worth. And that's providing all 10 teams that have been playing return. There's a possibility we'll grow, but we're definitely going to be splitting it into 2 divisions. And like I said, I cannot express how vital it is that at least one person from every team come to the winter meeting on February 4th so that we can fairly decide who's going to be in each division. When we return, we will be interviewing the 2013 Fall Ball Champions Team Bag Tag.
For more information, go to our website at www.huntingtonwiffleball.com.
Sitting with us today are 2 very special guests, members of Team Bag Tag, the 2013 Fall Ball Huntington Wiffle League champions, Brandon Woolum and Zach Blatt. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. I'm going to ask you guys some questions. Do you think you can beat Maroon Squad in the 2014 season if they return?
Well, Zach wasn't there for any of that, so I guess I have to answer that. And very confidently, I think we can beat them every time we play them. I love their confidence, but I think we are actually more athletic than them as a whole. They've got Clag, but I think we have 4 Clags.
Oh, all right. What are some flaws you see in the Maroon Squad that you think you can definitely expose and capitalize on?
I think their main flaw is they're overconfident. They just think they're going to come and get the win automatically. And a lot of teams they played in that last season, they weren't as sport and baseball smart as some of the teams that played in the fall league. And I think when they match up against some of the teams that are like that, it's going to expose many flaws with them because of their cockiness. So I look forward to it. My whole team is very baseball smart. A lot of the other teams are baseball smart, and we're going to take our walks. We're going to take singles into triples with a couple missed throws, and I look forward to it. I hope to play them the second week of the season.
All right.
Who do you hope to play the first week?
I want the Honey Badgers. I want to give the Honey Badgers their rematch that they want.
Okay. I wish we'd have had time to squeeze one in there. That would have been a good game, especially that week. Both your teams were really on fire. Okay, so you guys are good. You probably can beat maybe everybody next year. We don't know. So you'll probably, for sure, be in the top 3. What are some areas of improvement you guys need to work on to get even better to sort of solidify that chance?
As the main pitcher for our team, definitely pitching. I mean, there's only one style pitch that I really can throw, thanks to Steven and his sharing. But towards the end of the season, you could tell that the people were starting to catch on to that pretty easily, and I will blame the cold weather as to why my balls didn't do anything curving-wise, but definitely pitching. Need to learn a few more pitches to offset the batter's mind. As far as pitching goes, that's all I have to say for that.
Okay. And just pitching, you guys think can improve?
Hitting, I think our hitting is there. If you look at the stats, we dominated pretty much every offensive category, so it's just getting the pitching down. Defensively, I'm our only weak link, really. I missed a few balls, but other than that, I think defensively we're pretty strong in the field. So get the batting down, or the batting's down, get the fielding down a little more, we're good to go. Pitching.
Cool. All right.
Roster situation. What is it? You guys had 4 players that really showed up for your team this year. Pretty much a bare bones roster that can generally find holes in.
That's pretty much what you're going to see next year too. We all like to play every single second of every single game, so everybody's going to show up every week. So about 5 is the most we'd want, because we don't ever want somebody sitting out, because that person's going to get mad. We want to play every single moment we get. And this year we actually had 6, but 2 of them weren't able to show up. We wanted 5 coming into the season. We knew that Brian wasn't going to be able to come to mini games. Yellig was able to play in 2. So I would say you're probably going to see that exact same team come out in the spring. Maybe a bag tag too, with some more of our kickball team.
I like that.
Can't wait to see them. Speaking of your kickball team, we've been talking the past couple of weeks about your kickball dominance going to Vegas again.
In just 2 weeks, we'll be in Vegas. Yeah. Well, we won't. But
you guys just had the Founders Cup just now, right?
No, it's in 2 weeks.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a different playoff situation.
So does the kickball dominance transfer into wiffle ball dominance, or they're very similar games?
Well, so far it has. We haven't got to play much wiffle ball, but in kickball, every single year we've ever had a team, we have won. And so far for wiffle ball, we can say that same thing. Now that we've had our one little season of bag tag wiffle ball, and we've won that too. We've also won some dodgeball stuff. So everything that bag tag has been a part of, we have came in confidently and walked away a champion. So we've yet to be proven wrong yet. So we're waiting for somebody to do that.
I think that's the important word, is confident. We build our teams with people that we know get the game and are confident about the game. Don't come in thinking, we're going to lose this one. Coming in with a strong mind, always ready to roll, win.
And being like that has brought even more fun to all the leagues we've been a part of, because we come in, we're very competitive on the field. We'll make you hate us a lot on the field. Off the field, we're all cool. But it brings, when somebody plays us every week, they want to destroy us. They don't want to just beat us, they want to mercy us. And that happened in kickball this year. We didn't get mercy, but we actually had 2 losses this year in kickball. And that brought tons of fun to the league, because we were never the number 1 seed the entire season until the championship. Wow. And we still won the championship. We actually just got our highest kickball ranking ever at 33 in the nation going into the championship here in 2 weeks.
I actually won that game by a healthy margin as well, so versus the so-called second best team that the kickball league has.
Okay, cool. So this past regular season, you were on Greg's team, Beaver Fever, and you guys had ho-hum results, to say the least. So
we did very well for what we had to work with.
Yeah. What are some of the biggest differences between your initial experience with Beaver Fever and then your present experience with your own franchise?
Well, with Beaver Fever, I didn't know much about wiffle ball at all. Didn't know anybody in the league really, so I didn't have that connection that I have with bag tag. I've played with all these people a lot of my life. Kara, me and her go all the way back to minor league baseball, so that was our one female we had on the team. So we've played a lot of sports in our life. Zach, we never really played on the same team or anything, but we both played baseball all of our life. We played kickball together for 3 to 4 years. Paul is just a super athletic person. Didn't get to play with him until kickball, but we've got 3 to 4 years of stuff that mends us together, where me and Greg didn't have that, and by the time the end of the season came, we had that, but then the season was over. So
yeah. Okay. would you say that your amount of fun had while playing on a team that is losing or is hovering around 500 win percentage is the same or less than your current amount of fun that you have?
It's two different types of fun, really. Because I love to win, so I have fun winning. But it doesn't bother me to lose if I'm on a team that I know that we're not going to dominate. But it made it more fun trying to be that person to dominate. We got the playoffs. We still thought we were going to win it all. We thought we had the best matchups we could have possibly had to get to the championship. There was never a time we were like, oh, we're going to lose this game. We thought we were going to beat you guys. We thought we were going to beat Holy Balls and face Marine Squad the championship. And it didn't happen, but we still had fun trying to make it happen.
Yeah, pretty close. I don't remember the score for the Holy Balls game.
Yeah.
You guys beat the shit out of us.
Well, they did the same to us. It was like 14-1 or something.
I was taking pictures the whole time. I was like, this is bad. I'm going to stop doing the book. Daryl, you take this.
I didn't get to see much from that, only the postseason game, and I only heard how awesome Woolum was in wiffle ball. So
yeah.
I come to see the one game expecting home runs that he claims he hits daily, and then didn't see any.
Okay. I hit a few.
But, this season he obviously hit, I think it was 5, courtesy of Greg on one of those.
I got robbed of a lot of home runs this year, too.
Yes. The fence was nice to him one other time, but overall, great player.
Okay. Final question I'm aware of. What are you looking forward to in the 2014 season?
Winning.
Yeah.
That's the bag tag way.
All right.
We like to fire people up with that, so hopefully that makes people practice and they come out and they try to take us down and we get into a really competitive league. We love to compete. So
I think the only thing that would make our team better is have Charlie Sheen on our side announcing winning. I think that would be a good addition.
Well, actually this year, even though we won, probably our most overall athletic player is Brian, who only got to play 2 games. Like, he wasn't that good in wiffle ball because he didn't get a chance to really show off, but as an overall athlete, he's probably our number one between the 5 of us. So hopefully he gets to play next year. So hopefully we get even better.
All right.
I think something that's interesting that Yoel didn't bring up is our first game. I think it was myself, Woolum, Paul Martin, Alex McCoy, and Kara, and I think we hit multiple home runs that game. Like
that was an insane day. I couldn't keep track of
every
all
person
stats.
had multiple home runs, and it was just like, wow, is this team really going to do this? And what didn't happen is that after that first game, it was like only myself continued to keep the homers up, where everyone else, I mean, Alex didn't show back up, that is what it is, but the people that you thought were going to be home run hitters, like Paul, didn't hit very many, but he's consistently on base, so that's good too. But I think that was interesting from our standpoint on the team, like, holy crap, we're just going to jack home runs all day.
Yeah.
It didn't happen like that.
We did stay consistent getting on base, though. I think we probably finished close to 600 as a team for the year.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
Are you talking about for the fall ball season?
Yeah.
I think you guys finished at like 700 or something like that.
I don't think it was that high. But
It was pretty high. I mean,
something else you mentioned too about improving that I've seen drastically on our team is taking the walks.
Mm-hmm.
Towards the end of the season, we started picking that up. In the beginning, we would swing at anything because it's natural to want to hit the ball and not accept the walk.
right.
But in this sport, if you're wanting to win, walks can occur pretty frequently.
Oh, yeah.
So if you take them, you're going to score runs. And we were slowly getting that towards the end, not swinging at stuff that's not even possible
It's
to
way
hit.
out there. Well,
So
it's just very frustrating.
that's something else to hopefully remember for next season.
Yeah. I think our team walked the most, so we had like 45 walks or something like that. There were just some teams out there that just refused to walk. Go Jackie Go, Master Batters just didn't like walking, and they lost a lot of games because they didn't get on base.
It's really, walks are good for your team, but at the same time as the batter, like me fighting Steven at the very end for home runs, you don't want to walk. You want to hit a home run because walks do nothing to your average. You literally just stay the same as you did before.
Yeah.
So if you're someone like me, probably like Woolum, you want to see numbers. That's what makes you thrive, not, hey, I have 30 walks this season, and I have a 1 batting average.
Yeah, it's sort of it's not really an honorable statistic to champion.
No.
But it is what it is. That's part of the game. Well, thank you for coming in and allowing us to speak with you for a minute. The team champions, team bag tag, team captain Brandon Woolum, and and MVP, self-proclaimed MVP of the fall ball season, Zach Blatt. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
Well, Greg, it sounds like we're going to have an exciting 2014 spring season coming up. I'm excited. Are you?
I cannot wait.
Okay, but that is, unfortunately, all that we have to discuss for this episode. So until November, do we have any special guests on up for November?
Hopefully we can talk Patrick
Rail and Jacob Dunkel of the Pitch Slappers, who are currently practicing right now. We're hopefully going to be talking to them in the next podcast. Then, in December, we have two very special guests. Carl Coffey and Nick Coffey of Wiffle in Southeast Michigan will be coming through West Virginia around Christmas, and they'll be making a stop
for us.
Yeah, just for us, so we can have a podcast with them. So, looking forward to that. January, I would love to interview this person.
We are hoping that we can have the Brett Favre saga continued with Josh Bertelsich.
Yeah. Josh Bertelsich, will he or won't he? Will he return for the 2014 season, or is he going to hang it up again? I hope he decides to come back with his team, because they've had a phenomenal year. But that is all we have to discuss on this episode of the Huntington Wiffle League podcast. Signing off, I'm your host, Josh Smith.
And Greg Sowards.
We will talk to you soon.